Hello, entrepreneurs. I just thought, let me go through this exercise because majority of the entrepreneurs that have completed this exercise have struggled to actually come up with specifics on their budget. Please note that there is quite a bit from page 1 up to page 16 that was helping you to think through your budget. And the activities are there to try to get you to really take time to see how you actually will meet your goal and what are the planned activities and who are your suppliers and when do you intend to actually have those things. And again, a budget has to be based on, it's a planning tool. It's a planning tool generally for the next 12 months. However, if on your requirements for funding you had said it's a capex, i.e. it's a capital expenditure, then you must do a budget over a period of the period of the asset. So I just want to go through this again. Please do the activities all the way from page 1 up to page 18. But for now, because I want to just make sure that we are on the same page in terms of how you're going to actually do this, I think we need just to work it out in more detail. So in this what I had expected was a template like this being completed as being your top 5 expensive, your top 5 suppliers, and the total cost per year by quarters, and then you will have the total because the quarters are adding up the total. But I also needed the entrepreneurs to actually make sure that they have categorized their expenditures according to what is actually sitting on page 17. So your head office, which is generally the shared cost, will be your registration with CIPC, annual returns, the accountant fee, the auditor's fee, the tax, the mentorship, if you're gonna have one, the training, the legal fees, and entertainment for meetings and so on, the information technology, it could be a manual, business processes, that could be a manual, but general corporate or head office expenses or corporate expenses are expenses that are shared across the business. And that will fall under A, which is admin. Then you have another A, which is human resources, where you will have recruitment fee, placement. You can also have training and development, retire or dismissal, promotion, salary admin in terms of pay slips, SDL, COIDA, UIF, annual leave, bonuses, outsourcing to the consultant, HR consultant, sick leave. You also need to include family responsibility. All of those are costs relating to the human resources. And also keep in mind, there's other things like compliance that may be required for your industry. Maybe it could be the health certificate or whatever, depending on your industry. So there could be other expenses, but relating to HR. You will also be, now let's look at finance, for example. So finance function, or should I also call that part of the corporate, because it's under A, stationery, printing, accounting, our payroll system, insurance, repairs and maintenance, finance advisors, which could also be your accountants, transport costs, bank charges, interest expenses, and admin fees. Again, that are relating to finance. I've included repairs and maintenance under finance because it's generally managed in a small business, is managed by finance. But I expect you as an entrepreneur to include those on your budget. How often am I going to be checking for maintenance, doing maintenance? Maybe it's maintenance of aircon, maybe it's maintenance of laptops, paying someone to actually clean up your laptop, remove the viruses and so on, so that the productivity of the machines actually improve, and also it release the capacity and so on. And then going back to B, so B is basically your business development. It's all the stuff that is relating to sales and marketing. It's stuff that is relating to customer relations, how you actually are reaching out to your customers. So I expect, again, you will put the cost for social media, campaigns, the network. I mean, social media may actually even include graphic designing of those content, setting up, maybe even buying a software that you're going to use to actually post on the social media. Direct sales, what channels? Again, if you are not clear about your business model, you have not worked out who you're going to be using for what activities when, you might not have this, but you should have done that on your activities when I was actually explaining on the top, as I had said, that you must actually do from page 1 up to page 16. Because I'm just trying to explain here what is missing, because most of you are missing quite a lot. Marketing systems that you're going to use, maybe you might need a CRM, maybe you need to do some exhibition and trade shows, you might need to advertise, the printing, the TV, the social media ads that you might need to actually run. And you might actually have a PR tracking, the clipping system, competition, giveaway, branding, banners. You might actually need to have a nice business profile printed, business cards, and product vouchers, or maybe also including the website. All of that activities are talking to your marketing and sales. Now, when you have this, you can then now start asking, when am I going to do that? How much is it going to cost me? How much per activities am I actually, and how often am I going to do it per year? Because all those costs, once you have done them, it allows you to be able to see, okay, when will I do them? How much would it cost me each time I do them? And how many times? So that you can have the whole cost throughout the whole year. Operations, which is generally a production. Again, are you going to do a product research? Are you going to product testing? Are you launching any product? Are you going to investigate new products? The product purchases, are there any product that you need to purchase, which is basically your raw materials? What will be the cost of project management, service delivery, quality control, accreditation? Research and development might actually even include, at the bigger scale, it could be even on processes. It's more about what are the things that you need to improve on your business. Asset management is part of operations, because that is where you are actually managing the asset within the operations. So I'm of a view that if you have tried to actually ask yourself, am I going to do all those activities? You can then be able to say, well, how much will those cost me? And you can then also get quotations in other instances, but also ask yourself what influences that expense. For example, if you have said, maybe I'm going to use a software, if the software that you are using, you're going to need to buy it from America or somewhere else, and they're using a different exchange rate as a South African exchange rate, you should be putting that as your influence. What's your assumption of that? Are you expecting the exchange rate to increase or decrease, and at what rate? And what's the basis for you to say that? The point of a budget is for you to be very clear. What is my goal for the next 12 months? What activities am I going to do? How will I measure those activities? What's my target per month? And who are going to be my suppliers or my partners that are going to help me to execute these activities? What do I need? Do I need the skill, time, money, and to perform those activities? And what are the indicators? What are the microeconomic indicators that influence the activities? Similar to what I was saying. So, i.e., you could use inflation rate, it could be interest rate, it could be unemployment, it could be, but it has to be something that directly contributes into that activity, either doing less or doing more of it. What are the assumptions? What, based on that key, on that factor, what is the assumption that you are making? So if you have said maybe one of your items that are your microeconomic factors is actually foreign exchange, okay, what do you assume that foreign exchange rate to be when you're actually doing that when you are actually doing the estimate? When are you going to need to use that resources, which is the timing now? When are you going to need? Because you can then use this template, which is on this page, where you are saying when you put it on the right, on the correct quota, and then from that quota, you can then add up the items, which is going to be your sum in here based on what you're going to be doing in each quota. Generally, I always say start with dealing with all the activities. And this page 17 is basically summarizing the typical classification of your expenditures in your business, so that it's easier for you to remember what are the things that you could also be missing. Please go through this again, entrepreneurs, and try to really see the budgeting is not so much about just thumb sucking the figures. It's about being clear. What exactly am I going to be doing as an activities, and how does that activity contribute towards me achieving my goal? When am I going to do it? How will I measure it? And you see, budget is just a monetary terms of quantifying how much it will cost you to actually execute the activities. So try by all means to just make sure that you're costing the activities, you're clear how much that thing is going to cost you, and when are you going to actually have to incur that expenditure. Because the moment your budget is incorrect, it also means you're going to have a problem with the cash flow, because you have not planned for the expenses that you are actually incurring. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you are able to use these notes, and thank you so much. Bye.